Now, here are the 5 reasons that I found over 27 years selling real estate that people actually fail in real estate. Now, before we jump in, just know there's going to be a little lesson in here, a little bit of homework, if you will. And I don't like homework, but this will be very helpful for you in the future. Now, number 1 is dealing with people, aka tenants. When you own real estate, it's inevitable. You're going to have to learn to deal with people. And there's a lot to know and learn when it comes to real estate. But at the end of the day, if you don't have communication skills and you can't deal with the people, it may not be for you. And without people, you can't profit with real estate. Well, you can't profit with anything for that matter without people. You know, that reminds me, I had an OG tell me one time, he said, Wayne, you don't have a money problem, you have a people problem. It's the people that need your service and the people that you have to sell something to in order to make a living. I thought that was pretty good advice. So you must communicate with people and do so in a manner that puts them in a comfortable situation that they're confident that renting from you is actually a good thing. Now, what also falls in the level of communication is knowing the Federal Fair Housing Act. And that covers discrimination like race, sex, religion. You can't discriminate. As you own a piece of property, you have to make that property available to anybody and everybody as long as they can afford to pay the rent. Another thing that's really important is to make yourself aware of emotional support animals. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, if you own rental property, and when someone will come to you and have an emotional support animal. Now, the second reason why people should reconsider buying rental property is the property itself. It's not a matter of if something will break, it's a matter of when it will break. And listen, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer, but I just want you to know the facts when it comes to buying and owning real estate. There are many components to a property, and we know they don't last forever, but I do see people being held back from purchasing rental property because they just don't know anything about fixing anything with the property, which can be a little bit overwhelming. If something breaks, how are you going to fix it? Who to call to fix it? How do I know they're going to fix it right? What's the price going to be? Is that a fair price? All of that can run through your head and drive you a little crazy. And that keeps people from buying and owning rental property. However, it's nothing that can't be learned. You can learn anything. If one person put it together, if one person fixed it, then you can fix it. If one person installed it, then you can do that. Or, as mentioned, join local real estate investor groups and just kind of ask around. Ask around a handyman or a plumber or electrician and create a list, if you will, of trusted service providers that can help you when something does break on a rental property. Oh, and I almost forgot. YouTube, good way to learn. Now, also know this, when you buy a rental property or any real estate property for that matter, you can put a home warranty on that property. Now, a home warranty will cover that property for 1 year. The seller can pay for the warranty. They run about $700, and it covers all the electrical and circuits and components and appliances with the property, mainly the central heat and air, which is a big expense, and also all the kitchen appliances. So when something breaks, it's fixed with the home warranty. The third reason why I find people don't own real estate is just the fact that it takes time to learn the process. It takes time to learn to deal with fair housing. It takes time to learn to deal with contracts and lease and background checks and all of that. There's a lot of the whole process and the nuances to that, which can be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning. So a lot of people just say, I don't want to fool with it. Now, as mentioned, real estate may seem simple to some and difficult to others, like anything in life. And so you're going to have to deal with people and the properties and the fixes and the lease agreements and the fair housing and the pets and the pet odor and someone destroying the property. That's just the chance that you take, but I promise you, it's worth it. Now, I could imagine if somebody is a little bit stressed in their personality, owning real estate could put them a little on edge. And there is a learning curve. It takes a little bit of time. You're not going to learn it overnight. However, it can make you a very wealthy individual. The fourth reason why people don't buy real estate is they just don't understand the tax laws, the tax codes, and the legal taxes that you can actually not pay by owning real estate. Owning real estate can be a huge tax savings. So once you own real estate, you got to have a good tax preparer, and that tax preparer needs to know the real estate in the code and all of that with taxes. But you also have to keep really good records. You got to maintain everything in a good, proper working order so that you can submit that to your tax preparer to save you literally thousands of dollars on a yearly basis. You see, this works because the United States government says property actually doesn't appreciate in value, although we know it all appreciates in value. But they say property does not appreciate in value. So they allow you to depreciate the value of the property over 27 and a half years. not the land, but the physical property itself. This means that if you bought a home for $175,000, the lot's worth $25,000, you have $150,000, and you divide that into 27 and a half years, that's how much pretty much you can write off on your taxes every single year. You get it? Now, we all know that properties go up in value. When you buy real estate, you buy and hold, and it's great for the long term. When you look at the scale, property values go up. I don't care where you are in any city and country around this great nation, home values have gone up over the last 20 years. But why is it that the United States government allows us to do that? Quite simple. There are 44 million households in the United States that rent. They do not own a home. And the United States government does not wish to supply housing for those people. They allow you and me and others to purchase rental property and depreciate that property, thus giving us a tax savings and an incentive to purchase and own real estate for the supply of people that want to rent. Now, here's a quick little tip. Whenever you buy a piece of rental property, you want to start an LLC. It takes $400 to $500. You can create and give it a name, register it with your state, and run everything through the LLC name. You can start a business account, checking account, savings account, but run everything through that. That way, everything to deal with a rental property, even if it's one property or 100 properties, doesn't matter. Run everything through the LLC. It just makes for very good bookkeeping. Now, as written in the tax code, if you receive rental income from the rental, there are certain rental expenses you may deduct on your tax returns. These expenses may include mortgage interest, property taxes, operating expenses, depreciation, and repairs. But wait, it gets better. You can also deduct the ordinary and necessary expenses for managing, conserving, and maintaining your rental property. So you can see the benefit that it can give you by owning rental property. You just need to take a little bit of time to learn the process and get with a good tax preparer that can help you learn that process. Now, last but not least is number 5, and this is the 5th reason why people fail to purchase rental property. They don't stop and think, wait a minute, someone else is paying your mortgage. You have a mortgage payment if you purchase the property with a mortgage on it, but you're going to rent the property and someone else is going to pay your mortgage. They're going to pay you and you're going to pay your mortgage, right? And they just don't look at the long haul. They don't look at what that value of that home is going to be in 10, 12, 15, 20 years. And listen, don't take my word for it. I think it's important to ask around. Ask family, friends, co-workers, ask your neighbor, ask people, how much did you pay for your property? It's mind-blowing when you think, wow, you gave $25,000 for that property, now it's worth $250,000, and that's been 30 years. Listen, we're all going to get old. The older, the wiser, and we never stop learning. But just know that if you buy property and you hold property, it's going to be worth more in 20 years, guaranteed, than you buy it for today. But you know, here's something else I just thought of. The mortgage payment is a fixed rate, so your payment doesn't go up. Your principal and interest payment doesn't go up. Now, I know property taxes can go up and insurance can go up, which makes your mortgage payment go up. But guess what else also goes up? Yep, the rent. So you've got a property that's going up in value. You have someone else paying you rent, which is going to cover your mortgage. And the United States government gives you a tax break to write off over a period of 27 and a half years per property that depreciation for the property. Now go with me here. As I mentioned in a little lesson, let's say that over a period of 5 to 10 years, you purchase 10 rental properties. And in 15 to 20 years, those 10 rental properties, they all have mortgages on them. You can take 3 of those properties and pay off the balance of the mortgage on the 7. Now let's say you have $2,000 a month in rent that you're getting for each of those properties. And you have 7 properties. You have $14,000 a month in passive income coming in just from buying 10 rental properties, selling 3, paying the mortgage off on the other 7. You have 7 free and clear paid for properties that more than likely are close to $2 million, if not more. But why stop at 10? You can own 20, you can own 15, you can own 100. There's no ceiling. The United States government says you can own as many properties as you want. And that is building passive income. So I hope you've learned something useful on our channel. If so, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, share it with someone. The goal is to help as many people as we can know and understand real estate.